Hi there, thanks so much for joining me today. I'm Jackie, and in today's video I'm going to show you how I made this sea glass mosaic sunflower. It's not very big, it's only 8 inches by 8 inches. I've got a little blue butterfly up on one side of the sunflower. Down there in the right hand corner I have a sea glass inukshuk, and I had a lot of fun making this one. So join me for this video and I'll show you how I did it. So I had someone ask me to create a sea glass mosaic sunflower for them. And I do a lot of flowers, but my flowers are whimsical flowers and they're never really identifiable as one species of flower over another or whatever. But I love sunflowers, so I thought, yeah, I can do this. I can try a sunflower. So I have an 8-inch by 8-inch frame, and I picked out a lot of my pieces of sea glass that look like, to me, like petals, and I'm going to use them to create a sunflower. Now, in order for this to really be identified as a sunflower, I'm going to put some paint on the back of my sea glass. And if you've ever looked closely at sunflowers, I know I have because I just love them, they're somewhat darker yellow-orange towards the middle and lighter towards the top. So I have 3 paints here. One is a cadmium yellow, and then one is a deep yellow, and one is an orange red. So I'm going to use those 3. I have a little paintbrush, plus I have a bigger paintbrush to kind of smush the paint a bit, and I'm going to put a little bit of paint on the back of each of these. So the sea glass that I picked out 3 different sizes: large, medium, and small. So I have 6 large pieces of sea glass that start the flower, and then I have 6 medium pieces of sea glass. So I'm just flipping these around to paint the back of them. And then I have 12 small pieces of sea glass. And I have these arranged in a way that I am going to put them where they are right now, because I planned this one ahead of time, which I don't often do. I usually pick out my pieces of sea glass and glue as I go, but not this time. And I'm going to start with my yellow. So I have a bit of yellow yellow paint, not very much because I'm only putting a bit, and I'm going to start at the tip of each of my pieces of sea glass and just add a little bit of yellow. Now I'm just wanting a bit of the sheen of the color coming through to the front when I flip it back over, so this won't take me very long. Now I'm going to take a little bit of my deep yellow and add it to the yellow to make it just a little bit darker. So this is going to help blend, because I want to do this fairly quickly. I don't want my paint to dry too much. So I just want to then blend that a bit towards the middle of each piece of sea glass. This is acrylic paint, so it dries really quickly. And now I'm going to take my orange red and add a tiny bit of that to what I already have here, to make it just a smidge darker. And this time I'm going to use my bigger paintbrush because I want to kind of dab a little bit on the bottom part of just my big pieces and my medium-sized pieces. I'm not going to do my small pieces because my small pieces are out at the end of my flower, and those pieces, I want them to be the lighter shade of yellow. Now this is kind of messy. It doesn't take me very long to do this because I don't want very much paint. I just want the tiniest bit to shine through the sea glass. You're going to see the white part of the sea glass on the front of it because I'm going to flip these over before I glue them on. And they're going to just have a bit of the hint of the color showing through, just to give you that sunflowery look. Now, if you decide to use some paint, keep in mind that if it doesn't turn out the way you like it, you can always trash your sea glass and do something else. Or if you get some smudges on there that you don't particularly like, after it dries, then you can kind of wipe them off and fuss with it a bit. And keep in mind that this is all about fun and what gives you joy, and this is giving me joy. It's looking fun, and I'm quite excited about how this may turn out. The other thing to keep in mind is that your paint is going to dry lighter than what it looks like here. So I'm going to let this sit overnight, see what it looks like, and go from there. So I let that paint dry overnight, and you can see it's nice and dry, but when you flip the sea glass over, you can see the white on the other side. And on my piece of glass, I've just used a dry erase marker to mark the center and just to make a few markings on the back to make sure I get this flower centered, because I do want it centered on my glass. And I'm quite happy with the effect of it on the other side. And you just have a little bit of the white shining through. So I'm just going to place these all in place before I start gluing them on. And I'm happy with this experiment because I think it is looking very sunflower-esque. I could have done this just with the white sea glass, but I don't think it would have been as effective. This is really giving it a nice, cheery, white, effective look. And now I can start to get them all glued into place. I'm going to get them glued into place before I put the little brown ones in place. Just going to do a bunch of brown ones in the center, like the center of a sunflower. So I have my Quick Seal adhesive caulk, and I'm going to use that and get all my sunflower petals glued into place. Because these are fairly large pieces, they'll take quite a bit of silicone there. I would say about that much on a large piece. And my experience when I've experimented a bit in the past with putting the silicone on pieces of glass with paint on them is the paint stays as long as I don't have to take it off and remove it. If let this dry and then try to rearrange a piece and you take it off, the silicone is going to rip the bit of paint off. So small piece, small bit of silicone, medium piece, medium bit of silicone. Large piece, quite a bit of silicone, especially when you have a piece that's kind of curved like this. You need quite a bit. And the more you use, the longer it's going to take to set. But that's okay.